Narendra Singh Ji, President, the Institution of Engineers India, respected Dr. Bhalan Ji, Chairman, Environment Engineering Division Board, respected esteemed panelists, respected past presidents, respected Engineer Sunil Grover, Chairman, Board of Governors, National Skill Development Forum, the Institution of Engineers India, Shimla, Council members, corporate members of the Institution of Engineers India, Dr. S. Bhattacharya, Secretary Director General, Dr. Niranjan Shendotto, Director Technical of the Institution of Engineers India, all participants, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to inform you all that the Institution of Engineers India, a century-old professional organization, is committed towards dissemination of ideas, information and knowledge in the frontier areas of science, engineering, technology through hosting of various technical activities at its various centers and fora. To ensure that such ventures continue to run in a smooth, flexible and ubiquitous manner during this global pandemic time and beyond, the institution has introduced cloud-based event hosting under the nomenclature Centenary Technical Webinar powered by National Skill Development Forum of the Institution of Engineers India, Shimla. These webinars mark a paradigm shift in the approach of the institution towards rendering more effective services to its members involving latest digital technologies in the new century. II Centenary Technical Webinar on Draft EIA Notification 2020 Highlights and Challenges being organized by the Environmental Engineering Division Board of the Institution of Engineers India today happens to be the maiden attempt in this regard. I believe that the deliberations today will help us in formulating policy inputs which may be placed before Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change through appropriate platform as per the Charter of EIA. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
And now with the permission of Chair, I request our respected President, here Narendra Singh Ji, to say a few words, his presidential address to all the delegates and participants. Sir, please. President sir, kindly unmute. Sir, kindly unmute you. Yeah, I think now it is okay.
उनका ये म्यूट हो गया है तो यहाँ तो आ रहा है
It is okay now, sir. You can, President sir, it is okay.
No, we are not able to listen. आप म्यूट कर सकते हो?
No, sir, we can't hear you, sir. There is some problem.
No. Dr. Niranjan, hold on.
Sir, it is okay now.
You can talk now. Now it is visible.
Yeah.
Oh, not audible, sir. Not audible.
सर सर उसको ना एक बार माइक बटन को निकाल के दोबारा लगा दे अंदर। हाँ, इसको एक बार दोबारा लगा दे, निकाल के बाहर से हाथ से।
Technically, we are unable to hear President's speech.
Yes, I think so. So, should I go for our next speaker and wait for President after some time? He can come.
Okay.
Chairman NDP sir, kindly request our next speaker to
No, I will take
and then again request President sir.
I will take care.
Yeah.
So since
आप कहीं बाहर ना जाओ, उसको अंदर बैठा लो।
so it is my turn to explain about the new act that EIA draft notification 2020. Yeah, the term EIA stands for Environmental Impact Assessment. See, when anyone wants to start an industry, he has to get number of clearances or no objection certificate from various government agencies at various levels before starting an industry. This environmental clearance, which is the product of EIA, is one of such documents which is required before starting any industry. This EIA is a scientific process wherein because of this project, what will be the positive or negative impact will be assessed or checked on various parameters, environmental parameters such as air, water, soil, socio-economic conditions, biodiversity, and noise, etc. So wherever some negative impacts are there, that will be controlled using certain control measures. So the EIA report is a comprehensive document which covers what will be the project scenario before the project started, environment scenario before the project started, and after the project commission, what will be the impacts on the various environmental parameters. So this is what the EIA says. It's a mandatory document for any industry. It generally reduces the negative impacts and boosts up the positive impacts. The process of EIA was first introduced in USA in 1979. Afterwards, it has spread to all countries. Almost all countries have the EIA process in the industrial development process. India introduced the EIA notification, first EIA notification in the year 1994 under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. For planning and fostering the environmental protective measures. So after a period of 14 years, now the government wants to revisit the EIA process based on the experience gained so far, the difficulties what they have faced, and what are the developments in the country, all these things they have taken into account, and a fresh format now they are introducing. This is a very comprehensive document, no doubt. It has systematically been done. All the most of the issues, whatever we will face in the EEC process, environment clearance process, have been covered. How to get the EEC, how to transfer this EEC, how to amend this EEC, conduct public hearing. So this is whatever problem that just have addressed, and now they have got this comprehensive EIA 2020 notification. In this webinar, I have been given the responsibility to discuss about the salient issues of present notification when compared with the 2006, the public concerns which are being growing every day, and then we have our expert panelists who discuss specifically on river valley projects or highways or chemical industries and then other industries. Based on the panel discussion and the input from our ENDB members and corporate members, our recommendation will be sent to the Institution of Engineers through the Institute of Engineers to the MOA from C for time consideration. So the history of the EIA process I have dealt with. Now I will tell something about what are the salient points that how this EIA notification 2020 differs from the EIA notification 2006. In the 2006 notification, there were three categories of projects, A category and B category, and B category has been divided into B1 and B2. And B1 and B2, in the B projects, the screening, there was a step called screening, whether this project can be given, requires a EMP study or not will be decided. So B2 categories doesn't require any public hearing and other things, but B1 categories require public hearing and the EMP reports. This was the initial classification, but now they are also almost similar thing only. A category, that is highly polluting industries coming under A category, it will be looked after by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and then category B1 and B2 by the state authorities. And B2 doesn't require any EMP report or public hearing, but B1 require a public hearing as well as EMP report. This is the differentiation. B2 seems to be less categorized, less pollution category, so they have left out public hearing as well as the reports. Then the concerns housing I will discuss later on. This is what is given in the Act. Just I am comparing it. Similarly, the number of categories of projects earlier in 2000 it was 8 categories having 40 industries, but now these are increased to some 43 industries. Then another difference between the earlier and the new gazette notification is the validity of the environment clearance. Normally, an environment clearance is given for a particular period of validity. Now, the mining projects were had 30 years as the validity period. Now it has been another 50 years or the mining lease period, whichever is less. Similarly, the hydroelectric projects, the validity has been increased from 10 years to 15 years. And all other projects, either thermal projects or refineries, steel plants and other things, the validity has been increased from 5 to 10 years. This is the difference between on the EC validity period. And then the EC obtaining period, the time required to get an EC, is starting from the application. It has been reduced from 10 to 14 months in 2006 notification to 8.5 to 10 months in this. Here, public hearing notification period has been decreased from 30 to 20 days, which is a disadvantage in the environment point of view. But they have reduced the TOR period from 60 to 30, which is a welcome one. Similarly, the regulatory authority communicating the outcome of the ESC meeting, expert appraisal committee meeting minutes, also reduced from 45 days to 30 days. This is also a welcome thing. So there are other additional clauses that they have included, brought in this new notification. For example, they have given environment permission for B2 category with projects without EIA report. This is a new introduction. They need only environmental permission. And they have formation of two different additional committees, that is District Environmental Authority by the State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority, similar to the consent committee operating in district level in the State Pollution Control Board. Another committee is the Technical Committee to study and categorize or recategorize or refining the EIA process or refining the TOR. These things, the Technical Committee, they have newly introduced. Definitely this will help in sorting out some of the issues which crop up during the EIA process. And then there is a district survey report which is will give an idea. Will have the details of where the mineral ores are available, what are the erosion issues, or other cluster of industries. All these things, common issues in the district level, will be covered in the district survey report by the Director General Mines and Geology, district forest officers, PWD engineers, irrigation engineers, all will be involved in preparation of this district survey report. It is very good, even for preparation of the EIA report also this will be very useful. And then they have classified border area 100 kilometers from line of control under category B. This is also a new thing they have introduced. And also certificate of green buildings they have introduced for the construction project activities. This is also a welcome thing because this will take care of all the environmental issues. When they give the star rating, everything, mainly it is dependent on these parameters like resource consumption, waste generation, all these things taken into account, then only they give the star rating. So this certificate of green building which they have introduced in this EIA application is a welcome thing. Similarly, cluster of they have told that above 50% of expansion capacity only will require public hearing. Earlier it was there even less than 50% of public hearing was there. Now in this new act, above increasing the capacity 50% more, either it's a mining or any industry, public hearing is required. Below less than 50%, they are not given any public hearing. Then these are all some of the things. And in this new notification, the screening that was available in the earlier notification for categorizing the industry either B1 or B2 has been removed. Here they have categorically they have brought out certain industries under B1, B2 category. They have clearly spelled out. For example, some of the projects which have been listed under B2 category, which doesn't require an EMP or any public hearing. For example, cement plants, leather units located in notified individual industrial area without tanning, dyes and dye industries with zero liquid discharge and notified industrial area, bulk drug and intermediates are listed in B2 category. And then expansion of national highway expressways or ring roads, 25 to 100 kilometers with a 70 meter width, and built up area 20,000 to 50,000 square meter, and then 30,000 to 1,50,000 square meter with green building certificate. Then offshore and onshore oil and gas, including CP methane, all these things were in A category, but when it is there inside the industrial estate and other things, it has been brought under B2 category. And then 25 megawatt hydroelectric projects have come under B2 category, and irrigation 10,020 hectares also comes under B2 category. 5 to 15 megawatt biomass also comes under this. And the present notification has made certain changes in the capacity of the thermal power projects as well as hydroelectric projects in categorization as A and B. Earlier, greater than or equal to 500 megawatt coal or lignite or naphtha based were under category A. But now also they are retaining that, coal and other things. But other fuels like petcoke or residuals and other things, they have changed it now. It has earlier it was 50 megawatt, now it has been brought to 100 megawatt. Similarly, the biomass earlier they had 20 megawatt, greater than 20 megawatt in B1 category. Now we changed it to 15 to 100 megawatt. Similarly, the river valley projects, Earlier, it was 50 megawatt for 8 category. Now it has been raised to 75 megawatt. And the irrigation command area, 10,000 hectares, has been raised to 50,000 hectares. And one more notable thing is the mining of minor minerals. Earlier, it was 50 hectares. Now it has brought to 100 hectares under the 8 category. And the coal and mining of major minerals like coal, the 150 hectares has been reduced to 100 hectares. So even just 100 hectares also will be considered as A category, and they have to go to the central EIA committee for getting the environmental units. And these are all some of the things. And other than that, there are certain key points which are of very much concern for the environmentalists. So these things I will now discuss. One is the post-facto environmental clearance. According to this post-facto environmental clearance, anybody can start an industry and operate it, and if it is found at a later date, he can apply for environmental clearance and can get it. It is a highly wrong thing which defeats the fundamental precautionary principle. So this should never be encouraged. But looking at the present situation that some of the industries which doesn't have environmental clearance and still operating, these things has to be corrected. So whether you have to prepare, you have to stop them, prepare the EIA report, and then get the environmental clearance, whatever conditions are there, that has to be environmental, what are the EC conditions they have to implement it. This is there. But one thing is, we want the government that after the enactment of this notification, nothing should be allowed in the name of post-facto environmental clearance. This will only spoil the environment, permitting industries to operate without environmental clearance and getting at a later date, it will spoil the total environment. So this has to be very scrupulously to be adhered to. And here we can say some industries they would have got easy, but they would have tried to apply. The latest motivation was that to renew the EC as per the latest 2006 notification. They would have got it in 1994, but as per this 2006 notification, this is not valid. So this they should have updated it. Sometimes they would have paid to apply. So these people may be given a chance to apply and get it renewed. It is just like our driving license. You added driving, but in the meantime you did not renew it. So this you can do. But any new industries, post-facto environmental should be 100%. It should be avoided. And then complete consultation. The notice period has been reduced from 30 to 20 days. This is also not a healthy trend, because we must give sufficient time for the public to all the stakeholders to give their apprehensions, whatever is there, whatever points they want to share, any negative impact they foresee. So those people should be given freedom to express. So this time reduction need not be there. 45 days earlier was the public hearing. So the same thing we can adjust in the official procedures of accepting the application and giving the public hearing minutes. So those areas we can compress it, and this should be maintained at 30 days. That would be our request. This will only, by keeping these 30 days, our transparency and credibility will be encouraged by the government. If you hurry up this process, people may think something is there, so the government wants to rush up. So this can be avoided. And then relaxation of the monitoring period. So far, as per the Environment Act 2006, it was 6 monthly reports we have to send, compliance report. The compliance of the environmental conditions, whatever is given, with the monitoring data, everything we have to get. But as per this latest notification, it has been extended to 1 year. They want the compliance report. If you give once in a year, it will be all right. There are certain, the state pollution board, they have a serious concern, and they are also observing day to day. So monitoring is there, but as far as the EC conditions are there, if we have 6 monthly monitoring, it is good, because we will have self-check. The industries, people will have self-check on whether they are adhering to the norms and other things. So it would be better to bring back this monitoring appraisals, reports, everything, 6 months stay. This is only industry is going to do, and the MOF or state portion board will be going to be overseen. Unless the correction is not done within 6 months, immediate, there may be even more damage to the environment, which may not be able to correct at a later stage. And one more thing is, in the classification of the projects, they have given defense and the strategic projects like the strategic projects which doesn't require public hearing. What is a strategic project and how it is to be classified needs clarification. Otherwise, any project they say strategic and issue may rise. It leads to ambiguity. So just like B2 category giving them whatever the strategic projects they want to bring it out, they can give it out, and then we can discuss on these things. And then violation cases. The cognizance of violation shall be made by suo motu application of the project proponent, or reporting by the government authority, or reporting by the appraisal authority, or found during the application. So this is only is given. So the violation, the public is not given an opportunity to raise their voice if any violation is there. So some company is running without EC. The other things, it is not there. So I think this is inadvertently has been left out. I don't think this also needs a certain modification. And then on going through this notification, there are certain clarifications I need. This on my part and with my individual what of views also it is included in this. See, for example, minor minerals found during coal excavation, what is the procedure? Which EAC committee has to hear this? Because minor mineral easily committee goes to some minor mineral committee or industries committee or coal committee. For example, if you have a coal washing plant, this will be dealt with the coal EAC coal. Similar way, if we get some minor minerals, whatever may be the bauxite or gold or anything you are getting, which committee has to deal this thing has to be clearly built up. So in the mining lease area itself, like that. Then clause J, point number 6, DAC shall be DAC, District Expert Appraisal Committee shall be recommended by central government. It is there. Actually, District Expert Appraisal Committee is formed by the State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority. So this some typical error or something is that this needs to be corrected. Similarly, corporate environmental responsibility, that is the amount we spent on improvement of the environment, because damage environment is there, so you have to spend certain money. So every company, every industry has to spend certain amount, 1%, 2%, 3% like that. This is apart from the corporate social responsibility, it is based on the profit. So this also, this is based on the project cost. So this also has to be clearly specified. There are certain circulars on what is a corporate environmental responsibility for projects involving this much capital investment. So these things also they can brought out here. So what should be for B1 category, what should be the amount, or A category, what should be the amount, like that they can bring it out here. And then one more thing, after this getting environment clearance, we go to the state pollution board for getting consent. As you know all very well that during the EIA process itself, we involve the state pollution board in conducting the public hearing, and we take their consent also. After that, we go to EC. Again, coming and applying for consent, it doesn't make much value. It doesn't add any value. So I would suggest that EC is sufficient, and the consent to operate will be applicable on the will be issued based on the EC itself. So I give an application and then get it formalized, something like that. Rather than giving another application and the state program again coming and seeing this type of things. Already the expert of this committee has totally seen the project, and they see only renewal of consent everything. They can SPCB can inspect whether the EC conditions have been complied with or not. Otherwise, again consent to establish and other things maybe a duplication. So some changes are required in this level. And 50,000 to 1,50,000 square meter built up area. comes under column 5 shall be referred to in category number 42 of industrial schedule. It is given that 50,000 to 1,50,000 square meter building area is in B1 category. And after the column 5, it is again mentioned that 50,000 to 1 lakh building area comes under column 5 shall be referred to appraisal committee. It shall be shifted in the B2 category. They are given it has to be referred to the appraisal committee. I know in this paragraph they can take it out. Yes, already it is 50,000 1 lakh in B1 category and it is being appraised by the state expert. So this correction is required. Similarly, on class category number 43 elevated roads, it is written as 1,50,000 square meter built up area. I think this is some formatting error from the previous row. It has come down here. This also needs some correction. And one more thing, in EIA shall meet at least once in a month. It is given. Once in a month. Suppose no projects is there, then what's the so this frequency based on the availability of projects, some correction is required. And then violation, and on any account, violation should not be allowed after the gazette notification. And one more good point is construction work for the purpose of notification shall not include securing land by fencing, leveling without cutting trees, geotechnical investigation, everything. This is a good thing because earlier we can't even level it or the other things we won't be able to do. But this doesn't reduce without cutting trees. You can shift the trees there. And these are all the certain clarifications what I mean. The concerns also have given. To conclude, I would say we need economic growth, but at the same time, we have to protect the ecosystem. So we have to take a balanced path. So no doubt, the concerns what we have raised here will be taken care of by, we will put up to our suggestions, our clarifications to the Ministry of Environment for us, and then we will look for some positive response from the government. Thank you very much for giving an opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Bhelan, for your thoughtful speeches and educating us about this gist of the EIA. Now I will request our President, Sir, Narendra Singh Ji, to kindly say a few words as his presidential address. Sir, Narendra Singh Ji, sir. President, sir. I think...
Mr. President.
President, sir, Narendra Singh Ji, kindly give your presidential address, please. No, I think his connection is off. May I now request Dr. Bhelan to introduce our next speaker, Sri Saraca Pallaria, our Minister of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. Dr. Bhelan, please.
नरेंद्र सिंह की आवाज नहीं आ रही है?
He come? Narendra sir, Pallaria sir has come?
Yes, yes, he is there.
Is there? Okay. So it is my pleasure to welcome Sri Saraca Pallaria ji, Director and Scientist from Ministry of Environment for us. He is the author and the hero of today's webinar. The EIA Act, he has done it so meticulously. There are some issues definitely he will address. So I will welcome Sri Saraca Pallaria, Policy and Non-Coal Mining, Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change. He is a mining engineering graduate from Akone University. Thereafter, he went to obtain his postgraduate in IIT Dhanbad, Indian Institute of Mines Dhanbad. He is also a holder of first class mines manager certificate of competency unrestricted from DGMS Dhanbad. He has done postgraduate diploma in computer applications. He worked in public sector coal mining company as under manager, environmental officer, deputy manager, and quality manager for a period of 16 years. He has carried out
हाँ, तो
number
बस
of
अब
EIA
इसके भाषण के बाद आप
conducted public
बोलेंगे।
consultation,
इसके
presented before
बाद आप बोलेंगे।
expert affairs committee. He joined the Ministry of Environment for
Unmuted.
in 2016 and he discharged the duties of director in Hazardous Substance Management Division Control of Pollution Division and EIA Division, Impact Assessment Division. Further, he worked as National Project Director for biomedical waste management in the country on behalf of United Nations Industrial Development Organization (UNIDO). He has discharged the duties of member secretary for EAC of mineral-based industries, coal mining, chemical-based industries, and presently in non-coaling coal mining division. Really, we are gifted to have such a person who is from industry as well as in the statutory body. Really, we will be hear your voice, sir. I would request Sri Sarac Kumar Palarlaji to kindly address the gatherings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and good afternoon, all the panelists and organizers, as well as the today's participants. Am I able to hear?
Yes, yes,
Yes, sir. Audible, yes.
audible.
And my screen is also visible.
Yes, yes,
Screen.
yes, you are visible.
Okay. Yeah. See, there are some concerns that was raised by the what are some of the issues that are there in the EIA 2020 when compared to the 2006. Just I will run through a presentation. What actually we have changed from 2006 to 2020? What is the letter and what is the intent and spirit of this modification? Why it has been brought? And what was the necessitating these things? So they will explain you so that it will be a clarity to all the participants. So what actually the intent of the government, and so that you can submit your objections, suggestions, and for the improvement and of the process. If you see, see whatever I am presenting is my personal capacity I am presenting, and nothing has to be proportionate to the ministry. So in this particularly seminar, I accepted in my personal capacity only. See, coming to the evaluation, so in the country, EIA has first started before 1994. It was only a requirement for the projects which require a sanction from the Public Investment Board. So it was not a mandate requirement of the environment clearance before 1994. On 27 January 1994, that is we normally know as a EIA 1994, that is the first modification it has come. After that, it went to about 8 amendments. After that, the first revision has been taken, re-engineering of the process has been taken on the 15 September 2005. So where the draft modification has been issued. And the final was issued on 14 September 2006. That is currently under operation. If we see after the post EIA 2006, it has went under about 55 amendments and the standalone notification which relates to the EIA. Then about 230 of the office memorandums that have to issues from day to day, and several core directions on the process of the EC. Therefore, what happened in the bits and pieces, so it has to be integrated.
Muted.
So in order to integrate and to re-engineering and to address whatever the shortcomings, that is the ambiguity is there. So we have come up with a draft first initially as a zero draft in 2019 and circulated to all the state governments, CRs and state pollution control boards to initiate the what is the thought process and how we can go with the draft before giving to the public. So after making several consultations, even with the industrial associations and EIA consultant organizations and the state governments and SPCBs and other line ministries, so the draft has been published on the 11th April 2020. Actually, on 12th March itself, it has been published on the website and the English version, and the Gazette was published on the 11th April. And it will now, the comments can be accepted up to the 10th of August, the 10th of this month. If you see 1994 notification, at that time only few types of activities that are do require the environment clearance, and at the same time there was a investment criteria is also available for certain category of the projects. But of course, for certain category of the projects like say pharmaceutical industry, mining, that was not subject to the investment. Remaining one, there is a new projects more than 100 crores do require the environment clearance, and expansion more than 50 crores do require the environment clearance. These are the list of activities that do require the environment clearance under 1994 notification. If you see the total, the list is 30, but there was no threshold values that has been given at the time of 1994 as an activity per se has been expressed in the notification. If you see there are the different policy reforms have come, and there are the line other acts and regulations is also changed. We need to align to those activities. Say there's a mines and mineral development regulation has been amended in 2015, and coal mine special provisions have come. Mineral Laws Act 2020 has come. The mineral other than atomic hydrocarbons and energy concession amendment rules 2020 have come. The mineral action rules have come, and pre-embedded clearance guidelines have been issued by the Ministry of Mines, and comprehensive guidelines were issued by the Ministry of Port. And if you see, the several core directions have also come under different provisions of the notification and the process of the EIA in the country. If you see the major judgment under the TM Godavarman versus Thermal Power, so it has given certain direction that there should not be any pay-take-up situation, and the system should have the transparency, use of digital tools and national regulator. Then the Deepak Kumar versus Union of India saying that so why don't we bring the mining of minor minerals, even the small mines, even less than 5 hectares also into the process, because at the time the people were deliberately cutting the leases less than 5 and circumventing the process. So to curtail such situation, the Deepak Kumar judgment has given certain directions to the government to bring the less than 5 hectares is also into the process, and including the cluster situation, so that there should not be any mushroom. And then common cause and the Goa Foundation judgments have come basically on the illegal mining and validity of the EC, which was granted in 1994 notification. And then they also said that the new EC means new lease means new EC. Then other judgments which cancelling the blacks and subsequent to the subsequent bidders. And you all know this National Green Tribunal has given the certain directions on mining of minor minerals, how it has to be appraised and what has to be considered under B2, B1 and category A. And they also define the cluster situation. So, and they also raise the concerns on the district level impact assessment authority. So these are all subsequently come as a directions to the government. See, if you see what is going in the around the world, see not only in the country. So there are now we are living the global as a country, as a global player. So what is going, whether this terms of reference, whether this public hearing, whether this the EIA process is available everywhere in the country. So if you see some research of say what is happening in the across the countries, the globe. So if you see the process in the China is almost the similar like category A, category B, and category C. If you see in the red color, so do require the environmental impact assessment report, then the environmental impact form and environmental impact registration form. Though there is a change in the terminology, but the process is almost similar to the what is there in the country. See, if you see the process, I will rush through because the time given is a very paucity of time. So just we'll see what is there in the across the country, globe. So this is the process in the Russia and in the Japan and Portugal, South Africa and Turkey, European Union and Thailand, Germany, Australia, then Scotland, Iran, European Union, Netherlands, Japan, Malaysia. Then if you have say actually there was tabulation which is available. So what is exactly there in the 54 countries? So each of the component, if we can able to compare, So that is also, see, some research has been taken place, say like that, see, right from taking to the Afghanistan, so Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and see the developed countries like America, Britain, and other countries. So and Zimbabwe, like that, about 54 countries. The comparison was made to understand what actually happening in the across the globe. So if you go to the what are the real key changes? See, basically one of the major objective is comprehensiveness. So everything which is available in bits and pieces, why don't we bring as a comprehensive document so that anybody gets referred, so they should have a fair idea what is required and what is not required in order to ambiguity, in order to avoid the ambiguity, and at the same time they what is the action process. So to get the environment clearance, that has to be available at the one document that will help everyone, including the project document, consultants, and the regulators. Then rationalization of categories of the projects. See, in 2006, the first time it has been introduced that the category A and B. So delegation at the state level has happened. Now 14 years has happened, and the states have gained a lot of experience and expertise, and they can able to handle more and more projects. So why don't we delegate? Why don't we decentralize? That is another principle that has come into the picture. And for small projects where the low pollution potential is there, very small projects are there, whether to have the same process which is also available and say applicable for the category A and B projects. Why don't we make a small cost tracking? Because the smaller people has to give some hand to help them. Then encouraging the modernization. See, any modernization, any change in the improvement in the system and performance of the system definitely not only say increases the performance of the production as well as so there is the less reduction in the emission, discharges, and the waste also. So when it is environmentally friendly, why can't we encourage? That is another concept. Then so introduction of instant torque and new channels for public consultation, and I will give you all the details of this rationalization of public consultation process and validity of EC and TOR, then flexibility in data collection, non-comprehensive for EC violation, and strengthening of monitoring mechanism. If you see, so in the entire process, this is the weakest chain in the entire process that has to be strengthened, and we have to rope in what are the infrastructure that is available across the country with the CPCBs, SPCB, and other government and institutes and CSR laboratories. Why can't we use the expertise and experience available with them to verify the compliance so that the environmental performance in the country can be improved? That is another thought has been taken into consideration. And delegation of power to the states. Then procedure for EC has been given very explicitly by giving the flow charts in the notification itself. And some of the learnings from the implementation of EIA 2006 is also taken into the consideration for explaining what is actually it is. Then enabling the concepts of the scientific principles has also taken into the consideration, because any project will leave their footprint on the based on two components. One is say what is the nature of the project, what is the size and magnitude of the project, and second is the location. See, any say suppose some thermal power plant which is placing in the Delhi and in the rural area will have the same impact? Will not have. So it has got the component of the two things. One is the nature of the project and the magnitude of the project, and at the same time, it also has got the vulnerability of the location is also has to be taken into the consideration. So this is the function of three principles, three functions. See, I said the 55 amendments and standalone notification have been taken into the consideration. See, if you see the whatever the amendments that are there, so like that, so it has been tabulated in a very systematic manner, so that the what are the notification and in which paragraph it has been addressed, so that nothing should be left, so that a comprehensiveness has to be come into the picture. Like that, say the integration of circulars, so that has also been listed. And coming to the rationalization, if you see the categorization earlier and now, so earlier whatever is there, say category A and B. B was further divided into B1 and B2 with based on the discretion and diligence of the committee on case-to-case basis. When it is a subjective and discretion is left to the committee, so there may be a chance of the ambiguity, and at the same time there may be a bias. So in order to avoid the discretion and the subjectivity, it has been made to be a more objective and clear threshold values have been defined in for the category B2 projects and integrated in the notification itself in the schedule. So what is mean by B2 and what are the threshold values that is applicable under each of the item has been clearly explicitly defined in the notification. So this is basically the concept. And if we see what actually why we have to go for the rationalization and decentralization. See, the first time it has been introduced in 2006. Now 14 years has happened. So states have gained a lot of experience and expertise. So why don't we give the small projects to the state level so that the project proponent can approach their own state heads and then they can take the environment clearance. So this is the concept of decentralization. Always say decentralization will give you more flexibility and more freedom to the people. That is the one concept. And second thing is the technology-driven platform. Now Parvesh has been introduced, so wherein the entire process is been now automated. So there is no intervention. The right from say receiving of applications, then the appraisal and processing and issuance of the ECs, everything has been digitized. And it has been now implemented across the states on pan-India basis. When the technology-driven platform is there, now that it is say if you price at the say in the Delhi or Bhopal or Chennai, it doesn't matter. Then the philosophy is where we have taken that the small and MSME projects, the more local impacts, and why don't we give it to the states? And then the large, which has got the cross-boundary projects. So where the pan-India applications are there, so it has to be appraised with the central level. See, some categorization I will check. See what is the say benefit when we make say the service comparison is there. Like the industrial area, when it is located in within the industrial area where there is no requirement for alternative site examination, so the instant tar concept has been introduced. See, there is no compromise on the environmental perspective. Here we have tried to streamline the process wherever there is no requirement of such a link in that, so that we can see in the entire port chart diagram. If you suppose say some unnecessary elements has been removed, the process will be efficient and expedient. That is the major concern. See, if you see the new expansion of small and medium projects, see small and medium projects which are located in since it has been brought into the environment permission concept, so system driven, the environment clearance is given in a say earlier it is 135 days to the 15 days. See how much change, the drastic change has come. So here, whether are we compromising on environmental perspective? No. So here the things have been streamlined, IT tools have been used so that the system can be efficient. Like that. So what are the vis-a-vis comparison is there? So that has been given. If you want the say each item wise, so whether it has been changed or if it is changed, then there is a say substantiation and justification for it, like mining of minor mineral, coal, offshore and onshore projects. See, as earlier speaker said, so earlier it was a category A and now it is in case of offshore and onshore. So it is in the 2006 under 2006 notification also it has been brought into the B2 category for exploration only, not for the development and production. Now also the same thing is there. The hydroelectric projects, so that threshold value will increase to at the state level, but there is no change in the appraisal process. Instead of appraisal at the Delhi, now it may be appraisal at the Dehradun or at Ranchi. That is only difference. And the irrigation projects, so there is no change like that. So the component that has been the coal washeries, if you see the mineral beneficiation earlier it is 0.5, now it has been made to the 1 million, so which is in line with the coal washeries. Whereas the physical process, when it is only a physical process, that the low pollution potential, So that is by all the projects have been delegated to the state level, like chemical processing, pellet plants, then integrated steel plant, then sponge iron, ferroalloy, then non-ferrous melting, the secondary metallurgical industry, particularly the say secondary metallurgical industry. So these are the secondary in nature. So it is not so complicated like the primary metallurgical industry. So more and more projects have been delegated state level. Like that, you can see. So charcoal and soda, skin, hide, man-made fiber, and all. So this is the list of the categories. If you go by each item, so I have to take all 3 hours. So the if you say fast tracking of the EC for the small projects is also one of the thing, because small projects, say there is a earlier in the 2006 there is a discretionary and subjectivity was involved because it has been delegated to the CS. So on case-to-case basis definitely will have subjectivity and conditions being prescribed on case-to-case basis and guided by so issuance of OM circulars and guidelines, non-uniformity interpretation across the regions and sectors. So in the 2006 it has been explicit and standardized and eliminate the ambiguity, that is the clarity to the proponents, consultants and regulators, and uniformity across the states. So on the pan-India basis, the procedure will be same. Then small projects and activities with low potential impact on the environmental categorized B2 in both EIA 2006 and 2020. Not only this particular, the small is under B2 is not introduced first time. Earlier also it was there, but it has been now more explicitly mentioned and where clarity has been given. The process of granting the EC for such projects is streamlined here using the IT tools so that the registration system type is developed in this. So environmental permission will be given without referring to the expert committee and with the standard conditions, appending the standard conditions. So system generated permission will be issued under this. So this is the difference between the clearance and the permission. So if you see by the flow chart also, so this is the one. So earlier application in the form 1 with the pre-feasibility report and EMP, now it is also same. Earlier it is scrutiny by the CR, now it is a scrutiny by the CR and appraisal by the ACAC. So now there is no appraisal in the AC directly. So system generated EP will be given with the standard conditions. So encouraging the modernization, as I said, the modernization that means so changing the process, technology, changing the raw material mix, product mix, debottlenecking. As I said, any change in the any modernization that will definitely will have the performance as well as reduction in the discharge emissions and the waste also. So earlier it was left this subjective. Now it has been made more objective. Here, so as the earlier speaker said that expansion up to 50%. So no, here the 50. Here only modernization only has been given as a the relaxation up to 50% at the public consultation, but not for an expansion. See, expansion everywhere, all the expansion is now brought under the ambit of the entire process. But here the modernization, why the modernization has been given? So the reason being is when the pollution load and see either same or reduction or the very minimum increase is there. So do also require the process, the entire process that is applicable for the afresh. That is the one question has to be taken into the consideration. So that is why here it has been given. But whatever is there, earlier it is there, but earlier these provisions were there as a subjective. Now it has been more objective and explicit. So that it will not be a confusion for anybody. Say, I can say, for example, suppose somebody has got, say, cupola with their foundry. Now he has been changed to the technology and say, IF, that is induction furnace or electrical arc furnace, which is a more environment friendly and efficient system is being placed and planned. So whether also he has to go the entire process, because since he is using the best technology and clean technology, he has to be given some benefit, some credit to in the process, so that here that system has been given. See, modernization with increasing the production capacity and all. So different permutation and combination and the in order to avoid the ambiguity, even examples are also given into the in the notification the first time, so that there will not be any ambiguity. If any ambiguity is there, people will go for the litigation. A lot of litigation will come. Unnecessarily, the project proponent and the consultants and everybody will suffer. So, what is the necessity for it? If it is clear, so it will be clear for everyone. See, concept of instant TAR has been introduced, as I said. So, in case of expansion projects and the other projects which are located in the industrial estates. Because in any terms of difference, there are two components. One is the site suitability, and second is the what is the nature of the project. Because since the standard TARs have already been developed for all the categories of the projects, so that second part is eliminated. Then the first part is the site suitability. In case of expansion and projects which are located in the industrial, this already been appraised and that particular site is already been considered that is suitable. So that component is also not there. Since it is not there, so so concept of instant TAR has been introduced here. So the new channels of public consultation means, so nothing has been given extra here. So here, see, whenever some situations like say pandemics are there, emergency situations are there, and force majeure situations are there. So in such cases, then the expert appraisal committee, based on the nature of the project, based on the situation, on case-to-case basis, can take a call for other modes of the consultation. Then rationalize the public consultation, since because in the some of the states the availability of the ADM level officers is very big problem. For the small projects, now it has been delegated to the SDM level, because whether ADM or SDM is not the criteria, but whether the concerns have been addressed or taken or not is the criteria. So coming to the notice period, of course, it has been we thought that development of the IT tools and the communication system in the present era. So why can't we reduce the timeline to 30 days to 20 days? So that has been considered. So that is the major. If you take see what are the public exemption which are there in the earlier notification and present notification. If you see, absolutely there is no change in the public hearing exemption list. So here that one of the concern that has been said is all the project and activities concern the national defense and security involving other strategic consideration, which is also there in the principal notification of the 2006 that has been reiterated. Nothing has been added here, and at the same time, it is not now. Earlier, it was no definition was given. Now it has been given the definitions in this, so that there will not be any ambiguity and there is not discretion is left to the persons and it is not subjective. The validity of the EC. So as he said, so the earlier it was 30 years. See, for thermal power plants after completion of its plant, it's a perpetual. It is a life. So like that in case of the mining project, it is also earlier life also. But subject to a maximum of 30 years. At that time, MMRD provides 20 years of mining lease can be extended for another 10 years. So that is 30 years. That is why it has been taken as 30 years. Now the MMRD provides the 50-year validity or the lease period directly. So that it has been aligned with the provisions of MMRD. But here now we have taken first time that is the subject to the commencement of mining operations in the 10 years. So in order to say avoid the people to have the grasp the things. So it has been aligned with the subject to class has been introduced. Then River Valley and nuclear projects, because the implementation times requires much. So it has been increased from earlier it was 10 years and now it has been increased to 15 years. But the project, if you see the 7+3, the first instant they used to give the validity 7 years and extendable for 3 years, total 10 years. Now also at one go it is given the 10 years. So whatever the validity which can be given to the project, at one go it has been given. But overall time remains same. In case of the terms of reference also it is same. It is now proposed for the one time, so that the transactions to the regulatory authority unnecessary rounding to the offices has been reduced. And then validity of the EC, as I told you, then the flexibility of the data collection. So this flexibility has been given through an office memorandum. Now it has been given in the notification itself, so that the legislative backup. Say distinction in the non-compliances and violations. So there used to be earlier a lot of ambiguity. What is meant by non-compliance and violation? That has been defined in the definition itself. And dealing, see, notification. This notification cannot override the Environment Protection Act. So whatever the provisions are there in the Environment Protection Act, only has to be taken into consideration. The polluter pay principles has been followed, and presently there is no mechanism after the completion of this window. There is no mechanism. Suppose somebody is they inadvertently are not taken in the environment clearance, only the closure is the only the criteria, dismantling is only the criteria, can't it be bring. Suppose somebody has been constructed some plant, so without taking the environment clearance, but he has taken something, considered all the plans, can't it be taken and can't it be given the environment clearance? But of course, because he has not taken the environment clearance, so there will be a fine, there will be a action under the law, that is under section 15 and section 19, that has been there. So all the entities not complying with the environmental regulation be brought under the ambit in the expedient manner. Otherwise, what happens is if you leave that, so they will continue to pollute. So that is much more dangerous than the bringing them into the ambit of the notification. Here there is no post factor is being given. So here it is the from the date it gives that the environment clearance will be given. But the violation which was already made, so that is definitely. See, if you see the court orders, see, consideration of the environment protection must be examined on the merits and the independent and any proposed action for the alleged act violation is parallel and independent. Then, as this and we make it clear that the EC will come into the force not earlier than the date of its grant. So it is from the date of grant only. And so ultimately here the no dilution has been taken into the consideration. If you see that he is now liable for the action under section 19 and 15 and late filing fee, damage charges, that is 1.5 to 2 times the which has been given in the window period. So it is a more punitive and stringent than the earlier things. And here, since the damage assessment and the remediation is there, so if any contamination and if it is suppose done, damage is there, that can be repaired now. See, this is the basically the flow chart. When the violation project comes into the cognizance, so there may be a two-case scenario. One is the positive and one is the negative. So in the present laws, if it is not at all permissible, so it will be directed for the closure and remediation also. And action under the section 19 and 15. So if it is positive, by giving some say remediation plan and by say environmental measures, if it is positive, then it will have the two components. One is the process will be there along with the damage assessment, and second thing is parallelly, independently, there is an action part is also there under section 15 and 19, which is of even there is an imprisonment is also there. So it is not that just that anybody can say start the project and so he is subjected to the say punishment under the criminal offense. So suppose somebody wants say without taking care of the criminal offense also, then he has to pay for it. So these are the different, if you see from the 1999 and to the present. So earlier, so there was a no say action there in the 99 and 2010 there is no there was an action proposed and now it is there. So damage assessment earlier it was not there, now it is there. Remediation plan earlier it is not there, in the notification it is there, now it is there. And the community augmentation, now it is a more punitive 1.5 times, and late filing fee is also there in this particular notification. Say this is the procedure for non-compliance. Suppose somebody is not complying, so what is the action, what is the procedure to bring him for the compliance is also taken into the consideration. So strengthening of monitoring mechanism, here we have worked with the SPCBs, we have worked with the third-party institutions like the NITs, IITs, CSIRO laboratories, and the arms of the ministries like the ZSI, BSI, Wildlife Institute of India, and other NIOTs, whoever has got the government institutes wherever the capacity, experience, expertise is available, why can't we use that thing to the system for the improvement? Then, if you see the comparison, so almost so because the time is much limited, so there are the other speakers who also has to speak. So if you see the exemption part, of course, so there is a vis-a-vis comparison is there. So absolutely whatever is there earlier, now it is there. Earlier it was there in the bits and pieces, and so it has to be searched. So whether my activity do require environment clearance or not. So now everything has been taken and collated at one paragraph, or otherwise some minor additions were there where the based on the clean technology, where there is an R&D. Suppose for example R&D in the smaller scale, say in the laboratory scale, earlier some people used to implement that also to require the environment clearance. So is it really required? Whether in a laboratory scale, in a very small room, if somebody wants to make something, some synthetic synthesization, so do and make a research, do also require a public consultation that has to be thought of like that. So wherever there is an ambiguity, wherever the clean technology, wherever the clean fuel that is there, and small operations are there, traditional communities, artisans, and the village community and village infrastructure creation activities are there, like the borrowing of earth and all. So that has been exempted. So like the procedure, if you can see earlier it was a verticals. Now the say everything will the start from the Parvesh and end at the Parvesh. So everything is a box, and the system, the data flows in the system itself, so that it can be analyzed. So there should we can maintain a uniformity, and this data can also be utilized for the research purposes also. So these are the authorities. So earlier there was a EAC at the ministry level and a CIA, DIA. Now there is no DIA, but these district expert appraisal committees will report directly at the state level. So these are the general conditions, this service. Then see earlier there are some say activities do require some amalgamation, splitting, resolution before NCLT and MMRD Act amendment. So these are the things which were really bothering. So that has been now in the notification it has been addressed. Like the standardization process, for every transaction the forms have been devised and given so that it will be clear to everyone. And generic structure, so how the EIA should be has been given, and PFR earlier it was given the structure in the form of poem, now it has been integrated with the notification itself. Then standardization of terms of reference and ECs enabling provision has been given, damage criteria, damage assessment criteria, so that has also been given the guidelines. Then protocol for the collection of DLD, then enforcement and monitoring guidelines for the sand mining. Like that, if you see, earlier there was no definitions. For every word that is being used in the notification now has been given the definition. So if you want a detailed comparison by say line by line, also that has been there, so that what is the requirement, why it has been changed, whether it has been prompted by the some say code direction or the some experience, and earlier there was some ambiguity, so that was there. So the all considered decision has been taken with this thing, and thank you from my part.
Thank you, Sharad Kumar Parlaji, for your exhaustive dealing the evolution of EIA process and how this recent notification has brought out based on the experience and internationally what is going on. All these things you have taken into account, and you have given a very good picture of how difficult this job is. We could see from the presentation. Thank you very much, sir. In spite of your busy schedule, you could spare your time and share your knowledge with us. Thank you very much, sir. Now I would request Director Technical to introduce the speakers and panel speakers. Mr. P.G. Sastry first.
Dr. Nilanjan, take over.
Unmuted.
Dr. Nilanjan?
Yeah, he's not there.
Yes, speak.
No, technical department will introduce the panelists.
Yeah.
I have given the responsibility. He is not there.
Okay. No, he's there.
Yeah, please. Welcome. Yeah.
Now it's okay, sir. Sir, I now request our Honorable President, Narendra Singh ji, I think now his connection is okay.
Okay.
Sir, can you hear me, sir? President, sir.
President, sir.
I think actually there is some bandwidth problem at his end. Sometimes it gets hanged at his end. President, sir, can you hear us? No, I think again some bandwidth problem. So let us go to our next speaker. Let us invite our next speaker, Dr. P.G. Shastri. I would like to introduce him. Dr. Shastri is presently the director and head of the Learning and Development Ramki Group, Hyderabad, besides being an independent director of several corporations in India. He did his graduation long back in civil engineering in 1957 and thereafter his master's degree in 1958 from Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. And he did his PhD from the Technical University Dresden, Germany in 1962 and subsequently did postdoctoral research in the area of groundwater modeling in Berlin and Hanover, Germany during 1970-71 as an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow. He was NIT Warangal's director in 1990-92, former engineering chief of the irrigation department and director general of Water and Land Management Institute of the unified Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state twice. And he was the World Bank consultant for India's hydrology project, and he was the research advisor of CWRDM Kerala government and EPTRI of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana states. At that time, it was unified. He was also a visiting professor of Ohio State University, USA, and played a key role in the genesis of outcome-based engineering education. He was associated with the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India during 1996-2007 in various capacities. He was the member and subsequently went on to become the chairman of the Expert Appraisal Committee for Hydroelectric Projects and was responsible for scrutinizing and clearing about 250 major irrigation and hydropower projects across the country. I would now request Dr. P.G. Shastri kindly deliver his address, sir.
You are able to hear me?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir.
Yes, please.
Shri Narendra Singh ji, Shri Shanti Kumar ji, Dr. Velan ji, Dr. Bhaumik, Dr. Simla, co-panelists, organizers of this webinar, and enthusiastic participants and project proponents. Today, I chose to speak on the evolution of EIA and EMP process for securing environmental clearance. The earlier speakers, Sri Shanti Kumar and Dr. Velan, very exhaustively compared the 2006 EIA notification and the proposed draft 2020 EIA notification. Shantakumar's presentation is very exhaustive. There is no point in repeating once again by a panelist about these two changes in them in 2006-7, 2020. I would restrict myself and I was also advised by Dr. M. Velen to tell my experiences, my association with MOEF and also with EIA and EMP process. I started as engineering chief of Unified Andhra Pradesh State, preparing EIA and EMP right in 1993, more than 25 years ago. That project was Jurala project. Many state governments, including AP government, river valley projects and hydropower projects being sponsored by governments, many state governments and government officials were really unaware at that point of time. The notification, in fact, came in 1994. Earlier to that notification itself, irrigation projects were being planned. Therefore, inadequate reports, environmentally not so sound reports were being presented to MOEF. Obviously, the MOEF used to send several queries. Replies were being sent by state governments, unsatisfactory, and consequently, it was only yielding lot of time overrun and at the same time cost overrun as well. It was really very difficult at that point of time, a nightmare in fact, to secure environment clearance from Government of India because of the deficiencies in the preparation of EIA EMP reports. I took up the job and then we sent a report of Jurala project dealing with EIA and EMP. After our presentation and defense before EAC, we got the clearance. And that report was sent to various state governments as a model report. Subsequently, I was also associated with two largest river valley projects in the country. Kaleshwaram irrigation project on river Godavari, the clearance of which came from MOEF about 2.5 years ago, is the biggest project in India and also in the world. It has 1 million hectares of command area and 1 lakh crores of rupees is the estimated cost. The second largest irrigation project in India, Polavaram project, at that time I was the chairman, on river Godavari, was also clear. Of course, the project reports were somewhat inadequate initially. MOEF, the EAC, took a stand to see that the report is better prepared, meeting all the environmental requirements, and then the clearance was given. Thereby, what I want to say is, for well prepared, thoroughly, seriously done works of EIA and EMP, with all the earnestness with which the state government and the project proponent takes up the execution and completion of the work, the same earnestness and seriousness towards environment also must be demonstrated. In such a case, the environment clearance definitely would come. I am sure many project proponents today are amongst the audience, the government officials, because river valley projects are mostly government sponsored. They would take the environmental aspect very seriously, and then I am sure they would get the clearance. MOF is very supportive. That is my experience. Subsequently, I myself did number of other projects and got the clearance from MOF. Then MOF invited me to be the member of the EIC. Subsequently, I was elevated, as it is said in the introduction, as the chairman of MOF EIC committee, and then we examined 250 irrigation hydropower projects. Wherever seriousness was demonstrated on the part of the project proponent, we were always advising see that reports are paid properly. The Environment Monitoring Committee and the Interdisciplinary Committee formed to see that the environmental safeguards are continued during the construction stage. Always MOF was very cooperative. Therefore, the message I want to give to the project proponent, particularly for river valley and hydropower projects, it deals with the water. Water is the domain of the farmer in our country, particularly irrigation water, huge quantities of water. They constitute the largest electorate band, and therefore the government always wants to see immediately in their short duration of 5 years to improve the lot of the farming community, the major electorate group. I do not want to say that they disregard the environment, but their priority is economic benefits to be achieved immediately. The environmental degradation and consequential disadvantages to the human beings as a whole would be seen later. Therefore, in this context, I would appeal to all the project proponents of river valley projects particularly, please pay the same attention to the environmental safeguards. Not only the promises you make in the EIA EMP reports, but during the execution as well, during the operation subsequently. Several reports are there from Ministry of Water Resources regarding our irrigation projects. The monitoring and evaluation they did, and 90% of the irrigation projects that have been constructed in our country do not fulfill the objectives for which they were designed and constructed. That is how the EIA EMP process is made more and more stringent right from 1994, the first notification. Subsequent notification was in 2006, while I was the chairman at that time. Even today, the 2006 notification is in vogue. We are extremely happy that 2020 draft report is a further improvement, a step ahead, and that has been thoroughly presented today. We should take these aspects, particularly with reference to river valley projects, in that context. I would now request our the persons who are helping us in showing our slides. Now I shall revert to the slides now.
Time short, sir.
Yeah, I will be completing very soon.
Yeah. Because President has to talk.
So, sir, I purposely took the title as Evolution, how the whole process got evolved from nothing, from no notification period before 1994, subsequently today, and a very well prepared 2020 draft is with us. So, The basis is sustainable development. A development which improves the well-being of large across the segments, all segments. The well-being should improve with this developmental project. But is it happening in our country? No, unfortunately not. Our developmental projects are leading to environmental degradation and inequity amongst the public and cost to overrun. Therefore, the river valley projects must be planned. Here I have given in this slide what are the various ways in which the environment is getting degraded, and also the stakeholders are also not very happy with the functioning of these river valley projects. In nature, since 3.8 billion years, life is getting sustained. How the nature is able to sustain for 3.8 billion years the different species of life, and why our developmental projects in a short period in our country, perhaps in the last 100 years, and more intensely after we got the independence. Today, they are really not running very well. So, the three items that we should consider for sustainable development are not only economic performance, of which we are giving a lot of stress, but then the environmental degradation should not be there, the environment must be conserved, and the social inequity, unrest, non-participation, that also should not be there. So equally important are economy, society and environment. Here you will see in the next slide all the three spheres, and then slowly they are getting merged due to better planning, better execution of mixing these three, and therefore this is the triple bottom line, meaning economy must be definitely considered. At the same time, environment and societal needs are also equally important, no less. These are the various items which I prepared almost some 25 years ago, what an irrigation and hydropower project has to have. Based on this only, the 1994 notification and subsequently the 2006 notification, these are the requirements of EIA and EMP. About particularly if it is an irrigation project, command area development is a very important item. And then when we take the surface water, river water, onto command area, it raises the groundwater potential. Are we estimating the groundwater potential? Not today, but when the project is being operated after a few years, why are we not able to utilize that groundwater? Plenty of groundwater is there in the command areas, along with the surface water. You can cut down the surface water requirement, irrigation water requirement, and then stabilize the existing command. In many projects, the tail-end areas do not get water at all. For years together, after the project has been constructed, never they have seen in the tail-end areas irrigation water. Consequently, you are building another irrigation project to stabilize the previous command of earlier project. That is how things are happening, and it is also leading to waterlogging and soil salinity in the head-end reaches. It is really earlier civilizations, we know the older civilizations, many of them were wiped out because of waterlogging and improper water use management, including Mohenjo-daro, Harappa. And then the rest of them, muck disposal, R&R is another very important issue. Then dam break analysis I myself tell you one cooperative measure of MOEF. In one of the projects, dam break analysis was not fully, completely done. It was the structure, the barrage was downstream of a confluence of two important rivers in the central Indian portion, and then the barrage is being planned below the confluence, and the dam break analysis was not done thoroughly. It was an exercise though, but thoroughly it was not done. But then when the questions were raised by EAC, the members very adequately, properly responded, showing clearly the data, how one of the rivers, after upstream development, one of the rivers were not carrying even the original flows. Therefore, flood in that extreme situation in that portion of the river was not taken into account. The EAC was appreciative on seeing that, and therefore they finally agreed with the proposal and gave the clearance. What I finally want to say is that when we do the project proponent in River Valley projects, I am confining to a decent job, demonstrate our willingness to see the environmental safeguards are properly planned and executed, then definitely we get the support of the MOEF. And lastly, the carrying capacity studies, that also we introduced while I was the chairman. On the same river system, not only this project we are now coming forward for the environment clearance. But then earlier some projects are there, later some more projects are going to come. Individually, each project may satisfy the EC requirements. But then combinedly, collectively, does the river basin has that carrying capacity to supply the water to all these projects in the worst scenario? Therefore, carrying capacity studies also must be done. So,
Sir, take another.
friends, friends, about a half a minute I would take more. My young, enthusiastic project proponents who are a witness to this webinar today, who have come eagerly to get their points of view, to know the experts' point of view, and then to get their doubts clarified. I appeal to them, please take the River Valley projects, execute, not only execution, but the environmental consideration, the ecosystem not damaged at all, in fact enhanced, because reservoir is available to you now, and the environmental flows downstream of the structure. How much are we allowing? What about the downstream aquatic ecosystem? Are we caring for it? If you don't allow sufficient, adequate environmental flows, not only the aquatic ecosystem downstream of the structure, the obstruction to the river gets damaged, but also it promotes the saline water intrusion. And when once the salt water intrusion into the river takes place, including the groundwater gets saline, and it is very difficult to rejuvenate an aquifer which was a fresh aquifer, then freshwater aquifer. Now it has become saline water aquifer. It's very difficult to remediate that situation. There are many complex factors involved in the EIA and EMP preparation of the River Valley and hydropower projects. Please pay large attention to them. Satisfy yourself that the proposal which you are sending to MOEF is sound environmentally. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I thank Mr. Velan, and also I listened to an excellent lecture from Mr. Shanti Kumar today. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You are sharing your rich experiences. It is green in our mind, sir. Now I request the next panelist.
Chairman sir, may I like to interrupt you? I think our President, Mr. Narendra Singh, is now audible. So
Okay, fine. We will hear, sir. So now it's the time for us to hear our President's presidential address, sir.
Yeah.
I welcome our President.
President sir, I think again his connection is not steady at there.
Or you can have some speech recorded and sent to mail, sir. We will broadcast.
No, I think it's okay.
Yes, please, sir. President, sir.
No, I think that the connection is unstable at his end.
No, you can get this for the message, record it and speak better, I think. Or you can talk it. Get the hard copies there, you can soft copies there, you can read better. If it is not connecting, at least last result that.
Yeah. So, sir, kindly go to our next speaker.
Yes. Once ready, you tell me. Now the next speaker is Kumaraswamy ji. Mr. Kumaraswamy ji. Audible, sir, Mr. Kumaraswamy ji?
Yeah, it is audible, sir.
Yeah. Okay, you can be free in 10 minutes because already time is going, so I would request you to...
Yes, sir. Okay. You ask them to show the slides, sir. But what?
Okay,
10 minutes is okay. In 10 minutes, I
can. Slides will come, sir.
Thank you, sir. Or I put the slides in the...
Our president उसको अपनी अकल नहीं है, he is president of engineering.
You control. Lavare मात्र video. Yes, sir. You are hearing, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Regarding technical, please introduce Mr. Kumaraswamy.
Yes, sir. I have completed my civil engineering and then I have completed master engineering in environment. And I went to Germany for 6 months for the study of environmental training. And then after that, I published 12 technical books and distributed at free of cost to the industrialists and students. And also I published 3 spiritual books also. So 35 years I worked in the pollution control board. Then now I retired and taking rest. So there are many EIA projects were actually executed by me. One of them is recently the previous year. This is the economic corridor and inter-corridor feeder routes from airport to Bangalore, outer ring road. We have conducted the environmental impact assessment. After that, we conducted the public hearing. So in the public hearing, so we have to issue a notice in 30 days as per the rules. Yeah. So we have given in the notice to the paper. It is published that after 30 days from the notification, the public hearing is going to be conducted. So here, they have to first submit the project proponent has to first submit all the details of the project. So they have to give all the guidelines and all the environmental management plans and the how many trees they have to cut, how many bridges they have to build, and how many culverts they have to build. So all these details they have to give it in their environmental impact assessment, that EMP, management plan. Okay, then actually the site clearance and then worker safety, because so many workers are working and the workers stay at a single place itself is a problem, because they have to provide a proper sanitation. So if there is no proper sanitation, then the whole area is going to be stinking. then the soil erosion, the sedimentation control, and the arrangement with the forest department, because if it is process. You are hearing, sir? You are hearing?
Yeah, we are able to. Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Yeah, arrangement with the forest department means if the project is passing through the forest, then they require the forest clearance. Then the trees, these trees cutting, they have to count, and they have to give a training program to the environmental aspect. So all those things should contain in that project report. So then they have to prepare a executive summary. This executive summary has to be maximum 20 pages. That actually they have to keep it in the villages where this road is going to pass through. So all the villagers has to be intimated by publishing in two languages. One is English and another one is in Kannada languages. As Mr. Shant Kumar said that 30 days is given time. But even after 30 days also, villagers say they have not known what is the project. So if they are going to reduce it to 20 days, the same thing going to be repeated, I think. Because here the time is not the criteria. Here is the criteria is the person who are interested to go through the project or not. Because even after 1 month, we are keeping the executive summary and also the full summary of the draft EIA notification. Only 1 or 2% are going to refer. They are not going to read actually. As per I have conducted more than 5 these public hearings, but only one person in one of the project, he has studied very deeply, explained just like our Shant Kumar, he explained very deeply because his site, his actually property is going to be acquired. And earlier property, they have not given the compensation by the Karnataka Industrial Area Development Board. That's why he has actually gone very deeply into the project and he has made very good queries actually. Otherwise, most of the times the public says that they have not received the notifications, though we have published in the paper and also we have actually published in using the auto. During this project work, about 60 villages are actually going to be, this road are going to be passed through the 60 villages. But we have covered almost all the villages. But the villages, we have not getting notices. So when they come to the public hearing, so here actually length of the road is 82 kilometers. Okay, affected village is 51. So approximately, this is design speed is 100 kilometers, and tunnels, junctions, the major bridges, minor bridges, culverts, all these are actually going to be explained in the EIA report. Yeah, then protected monuments. If there is a monument, then that has to be protected. In this case, there was no monuments. And land use pattern. The vegetation or agriculture is 87%. The forest land is only 6%. And barren and fallow land is 3%. Plantation 2%, like that. They have mentioned. And the tree cutting. Tree cutting is 17,661. That's what on right side and left side. Both the sides they have to cut the trees. They have mentioned it as 17,661, but in the recent paper, one of the NGO has reported that it is 33,000, not the 17,000. This is how actually sometimes they give the comments after many months is over, because this project was taken public hearing in the previous year. Now this year they are actually publishing that it is 33,000 trees are going to be cut. And it crosses only one river, which is Arkavati, and it flows during the rainy season only, and during the summer season it is completely dry. So then the environmental management cost is only 22 crores. It is very, very meager actually when compared to the project more than 1,000 crore. The very less amount is actually they have earmarked for the environmental management programs, and also number of social structures affected. There are 416. Those allows they have to give a compensation. In one of the public hearing, the villagers were discussing about the compensation, not about the project impact. They want the compensation. When they are going to give, how much amount they are going to give, like that they are asking. And this brief description of the environment, also the topography and the geography and geology and seismicities, soil character and borrow pits for the embankment, and fly wash utilization for the road making, because fly ash, under the fly ash notification, they have to use the fly ash to the road making and land use pattern of the area. Okay, and also meteorological station, the rainfall and all, the temperatures and all, they have to record, and the air quality. They have measured for 3 months the air quality, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, carbon monoxide, and all those. They are actually well within the limits because at present there is no very less industrialized that part, and also very less traffic junctions. So water resources, they have to test the quality of all the water because most of the ponds or most of the lakes were actually going to dry during the summer season. And the water quality is very good water quality because no industries are actually discharging their effluent. And noise is also they have measured. Noise is also not much because it is yet to industrialize that area. And flora and fauna, they have given how many trees they are going to cut, 17,000 here also. Fauna also they have given, there are some spotted deers, wild boar, all those things are there in the EIA report. But the problem is the villagers are actually not going to read. This is the public notification, one in Kannada and one in English. They said that these papers are actually not available in their village. They said that they are giving some other papers, not these papers. Like that they were actually commenting. And we have kept the 10 copies, 1 copies at the DC office and the Chief Executive Office, District Industry Center, Tahsildar Office, Municipal Councils, Village Panchayat, 4 village panchayats where actually this road was passing. So all the 4 villages that we kept the copies, but the villagers they have not seen it in the office at all. So this is what the comment they are giving. This is how the public hearings were conducted. That this is the Deputy Commissioner, deputed the Assistant Commissioner, and this our person gives the brief note of the project. After that, the project proponent are going to explain what is the project, how it is going to be commenced, how it is going to be implemented, and what are the areas which is going to be affected, and how it is going to be protected. All those things. After giving the project explanation for half an hour, then the villagers are asked the questions. So most of the villagers are asked only the compensations and other thing that they have received they have not received the message in time. They want more time. They want postponement of this one. After that, the same thing is recorded and it is actually made into a text, and it is submitted to the Deputy Commissioner Office, Kannada and English. And the same thing was actually submitted to the Ministry of Environment, Forest, and there it is going to be scrutinized. After that, it is they are going to issue the EC. So this is what actually recent paper they say 33,838 trees were cut. Actually, this is came after 1 year. So this is so late actually. Had Mr. Shant Kumar told, so once the EC is given, once the NOC is given from the central government, the state NOC is not required actually. Only after the commencement of the project, they can obtain the consent for operation, not for consent for establishment. Okay, this is the peripheral road, what is there explained in the EIA report. Okay, thank you. And only one thing is actually what they have actually reported in the EIA report, when the project is completed, it is not going to fully actually complete. So this is the problem, because in one of this one Tumbhadra river project, now because of the unscientific mining in the Ballari area, the 50% of the dam is between the silt, because they are not made the check dams, they are not protected the topsoils, because all of these actually the dam capacity is actually decreased. So that's why, as Shant Kumar explained, the rules and regulations are really wonderful, but it has to be implemented by the proper agencies. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kumaraswamy sir, for your quality reports and the way how you have handled the highway projects, public hearing, conducting everything. It was very informative and knowledge sharing. Thank you very much, sir. Whether president is available now, Director Technical?
President sir, you are not audible.
Okay.
We can hear you, we can see you, but you are not audible.
Then get the speak. We will read it out. You can WhatsApp the message. We will read it out.
Okay, sir. I shall try.
Yeah. So next I call upon Mr. Ramadas sir from the Industrial Waste Management Association to kindly introduce and also speak for 10 minutes on the experiences in industrial EIA and other related issues. Thank you, sir. Welcome, Mr. Ramadas sir. Could you hear me, sir, Ramadas sir? Your voice is not audible, sir. Ramadas sir, your voice is not audible.
Ramadas sir, kindly unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Kindly unmute, sir. Yours is muted.
No, yes, now it is okay, sir.
Is it hearing, sir? Audible?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
First, you introduce yourself, then.
Sir, I am Ramdas, MTech in Chemical Engineering, worked as a scientist in NEERI.
Unmuted.
And I was instrumental in developing asbestos and health standard in India. And I am also instrumental in developing carbon other waste disposal site in Tamil Nadu. I have prepared and participated several EIAs in Tamil Nadu, and I, as already Mr. Dr. Sharad Kumar and Mr. Dr. M. Bell has briefed all the important points of the 2020. Actually, it was very well drafted and very good. I'm not getting my presentation. The EIA 2020 is a real excellent one. It is very well prepared by considering all the difficulties faced by the industries last several years. It is very well, it has come out very nicely. Providing GOR, my presentation not visible, providing GOR within 7 days is a real excellent one. And all other activities bringing into small scale and creating one more V2 system is really very good. Coming back to the difficulties faced by the industries. This is now the program is mostly highlights and challenges. Highlights have been already done by Mr. Saraca Kumar, very well done. So let me go through the challenges. Challenge one number one is some cases when the chemical industries are preparing some application-oriented products. For example, rust prevention oil or coolant oil, when they mix two chemicals to get an oil, there is no reaction, but it is classified as a synthetic reaction. So what is there? Already there is a now in this new there is a technical committee and expert appraisal committee. Whenever there is such difficulty arises, the SPCB can send it to the technical committee, get it clarified. Otherwise, the SPCB sends the project proponent to MOF, get the letter or prepare a letter from IIT or get a letter from Mana University. So this kind of difficulties should be provided. This is number one. Number two, there is a single window system is there in almost all the states. So single window system and PCB should coordinate, ensure that it happens correctly. Because single window system gives pollution control to representative comes and it goes on. This is where the confusion starts. Before doing EIA, the construction starts. The industry normally in a hurry they deviate or violate it. Now this has to be there. There should be some connectivity between the pollution control board. Already there is a connectivity, but they should ensure that it is done properly. This is second one. Somewhere, because they are now almost all the states are going to adopt single window clearance, so this has to be kept in mind. This is second point. The third point is on public hearing. Public hearing is really excellent too. We need to get the opinion from the public. Absolutely no issues. In most of the intent and spirit of the regulations, intent and spirit of the public hearing should be followed. What happens in most of the time, either it becomes public, creating public awareness becomes more vociferous and things like that, or otherwise it is stagnant. Both is not acceptable. So we need to ask our Saraca has informed, some new methods or systems has to be found out so that the public hearing is conducted. Definitely, public hearing is a must, and the people should aware what is the industry is doing and what is the industry's control measures as per EFP. This has to be just reach the people, and it is the industry's responsibility to ensure that it reaches. Today, what happens, in almost all the places, it becomes difficult to conduct a public hearing. I myself was a victim. I conducted public hearing from 9 o'clock to evening 4:30. And at the end of it, one of the people came separately and told me we cannot talk in the open forum. So unfortunately, we need to have the public hearing properly conducted, and it should reach the people. We need to also evolve some mechanisms. And third point is MOF, like waste management. When the role of waste management was introduced, in most of the cities, they have conducted awareness program. The people in the MOF or CPCB can conduct an awareness program in each major cities and tell them what is the meaning for violations. Here we are talking the violations are environmental conditions, which will be known to the regulator, which will be known to the industry, which will be known to the MOF. These are these three. And definitely, if any violation other than this is there, there is a pollution control grievance program is there, there is a green channel is there, wherein public can do that and give their grievances. Definitely we need to listen to the public, absolutely no problem. As an industry, we need to look at that. Then the fourth point is, it's really very good for these B2 small medium projects and all these things we have covered very nicely. Reporting violations and the monitoring of the project during construction, during and after operation is a prerequisite. And industry should voluntarily carry out these activities because we need the data to prove that we are innocent, for which we need to collect ambient air quality from the labor, stack emissions, all these things. And also the medical examination of their employees. Or some of the hospitals they can take over and monitor. This is one of the conditions for asbestos-based industries, the local health community center to be monitored. So, why this is because any cancer or anything, we can monitor there and we can find out. So, this people are aware, technologies are available, and it is up to us as an industry, we need to come openly and tell them we are doing good to the society. We are paying income tax, we are paying GST, we have to install all necessary pollution control equipment and monitoring. So, these are all the challenges which I think perceived in my own opinion. Otherwise, the rules are excellent. Time frame, QR, it is all happening. Even now, maybe 10 or 15 days delay, it is happening. But for the public hearing and some of the things, there is an enormous amount of delay. Otherwise, it is happening. It's a good system. We need to, both regulators, industrialists, public, and NGOs should take it as an intent and a spirit and move forward. More than these excellent regulations, we cannot have it. Adhering is very important. Thank you for opportunity for IEA giving me to express my views. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your highlighting speech on the importance of public hearing, and then how the violation issues and other things, how it should be dealt. Really, your experience as an experienced person, you have nicely shared your views. Very much useful for us, sir. Now, whether President is now can talk.
Actually, sir, President has sent his message to me to read it out on behalf of President.
Okay, please read it. Please read it.
If you can hear, sir. Sri Sharat Kumar Padarla, Director, MOEF, eminent panelist, Dr. Velan, Chairman of the Engineering Division Board, and other respected, famed and renowned peers and professionals present with us today. I am happy that ENDB of Institute of Engineers India has hosted this centenary technical webinar on draft EIA notification 2020 highlights and challenges, hosted by the Environment Engineering Division Board of IEI. We are aware that the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has issued a draft notification on the Environment Impact Assessment 2020 for imposing certain restrictions and prohibition on the undertakings of some project or expansion or modernization of such existing projects entailing capacity addition in any part of India in supersession of the Environment Impact Assessment notification issued earlier in 2006. I have long experience of environment impact assessment for the largest dam project, that is called the Tehri Dam project, which is 225-meter high and about 5 villages had to be displaced. I was in charge of the total rehabilitation package of that Tehri Dam. And I strongly feel that the local NGOs and the project affected people should be consulted during this environment impact assessment of any such projects. This is my strong feeling because I am from site, I worked in site, so I strongly feel that all the academicians and the project managers should take care of such consultation with the NGOs and project affected people who are working in that site. Institution has always been at the forefront in providing valuable suggestions and policy inputs to the government in various important national initiatives. To this end, this webinar is being organized involving renowned panelists to discuss the highlights and challenges of this draft notification. The outcome emanating from this discussion will be formulated in the form of a suitable recommendation and will be forwarded to the concerned ministry before the closing date of 11th August 2020. I am sanguine that the discussions during the webinar has encompassed all facets of the subject holistically, involving all stakeholders. Thank you all. Jai Hind. This is the message from our President, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President, for your valuable knowledge sharing that how the environment and the economic development should go in a harmonious way. What should be done? It really was a very enlightening talk to us. Now it is time. I request our ENDP member, Sri Anil Kumar Sharma, to say a few words on this. Anil Kumar Sharma ji.
Okay. Sir, he has not been listed as a panelist. I think he cannot speak here.
Audible, he can audio. He can talk. No.
Audio.
Yeah. Audio, you can switch it on and he can talk.
I don't think so because in the webinar it is not possible, sir. We have to list him earlier as a panelist.
No.
It is
Dr.
Niranjan session we are doing. No. Question and answer session we are doing.
You can speak.
How
no, it is not possible here, sir.
Yeah, it is possible.
So, sir, I request Dr. Velan to kindly sum up the discussions of today.
Okay, मेरे को unmute करे यार,
It
तू
will
छोड़
be
रहे.
followed by there will be some discussion from our Himachal side, which our Mr. Sunil Grover will take care of. So, Dr. Velan, please, if you want to sum up the whole discussion.
Okay, so it is not possible for others to join in.
No, we cannot join now.
Dr. Nilanjan,
Okay, sir.
Dr. Nilanjan, you are able to listen to me?
Yeah.
Dr. Nilanjan,
Yes, sir.
those people can join on their audio, no problem. They are already registered. They can join. If you can just touch them, they can join. There is no problem. We'll take them. You take them, Anil Sharma on board. No issue.
Okay.
You
sir,
take
please.
Anil Sharma on board.
Anil Sharma on hold, please.
Unmute yourself. Anil Sharma, if you are able to listen to us, please unmute yourself.
Okay, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are able to hear you. इनको बाहर कर दे.
This is
निरंजन को पर ले. We are able to listen to you. Speak now.
hello.
Anil, you speak now. And all others to unmute themselves. Please unmute, all of you, please unmute. And let only
Yes, sir.
Anil speak.
You hear
Continue.
me?
Yeah.
The panelist.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, this is Dr. Raman Sarvanani. Can I?
Muted.
Yes, go ahead.
अभी जो बोल रहे हैं उनको बोलने दो सर. आवाज नहीं आ रही किसी की भी. आपको आवाज आ रही है किसी की?
अनिल को ले लो.
अनिल.
Sir, Grover sir, what shall we do? They are unable to come online.
Yeah. Anil is online. Anil, are you able to listen to me?
Anil Kumar Sharma ji.
Unmute yourself and come on the mic. Next, Dr. Velan, who is the next?
Okay, sir. Shall we
Who is the next?
summarize?
He can talk, he can unmute and talk. I'm Dr. Photo is speaking from the audience. Please, he can unmute and speak.
Sir, this is Dr. Raman Sarvanani. Can I talk for a few minutes, sir?
Please, sir. Please come.
Hello?
No, Dr. Anil.
Sir, this is Dr. Raman Sarvanani. Sir, can I talk for a few minutes?
Anil Sharma.
और मत करो ना सर.
Yes.
Unmuted.
Sir, respected panelist. Sir, am I audible, sir? This is
Yes, you are audible. Continue. You are audible.
Yeah, I'm audible. Yes, sir. Respected President Dr. Narendra Singh ji and the eminent panelist, Chairman EADB, Dr. Velan, all the eminent panelists. Sir, in fact, just now I submitted 5 of my questions on the EIA as a member of SEAC, State Environmental Impact Assessment, Puducherry region from 2009 to 2015. I have summarized my intervention on the EIA 2020 as 5 important points, which I already submitted. I will read very shortly. Number 1, how penalty for the damages and the remediation is accounted under the field condition. Number 2, what are all the monitoring compliance for the category P2 project under the expectation of the interprets to achieve justifiable statement? Number 3, for NHO project, there should be some indirect mechanism to prevent the compensation of the vegetation and the loss from the origin of human settlement. Number 4, how EMP will be set for achieving sustainability due to loss of water potential and the groundwater sustenance, considering the interboundary states of India. The last one, how resource augmentation is numerically be achieved for compensating the loss of land and ecosystem from category B projects under construction and remediation of dumping sites and yard. These are all the questions, sir. I am submitted in the questionnaire also. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Velan, Dr. Velan, please ask somebody to answer them. Dr. Anil's question to be answered.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Velan, speak. Yeah. अब ये ऑडिबल क्यों नहीं है?
Yes, sir. Respected panelists, I have taken the questions.
Everything is muted. Yeah. Now I can talk. See, Raman Karone has asked how the compensation has to be done. See, compensation mainly, for example, number of trees have been cut or spoiled. You know what is the value of a tree? That some estimate cost is available. So based on that, you do, and then cleaning up of rivers and other things, how much will be there. In that way only you have to, the damage has to be calculated and it has to be levied on the proponent who is controversing, who is violating the environmental rules and regulations.
Okay, sir.
Next, Sharma ji, could you able to talk? Sharma ji. Sharma ji. 1 minute, I will just call him. Otherwise, we will move to the next point.
Hello.
Okay, I'll tell them. No, his connection is muted, speaker, so kindly release it. On the inner side, please kindly take a server. Please unmute it. He is telling you muted.
Hello.
Yeah, who is speaking?
I am MLD Bordolo from Guwahati, Assam.
Yeah.
In this environment assessment, whatever the new information has come, at 100 kilometers from the border.
Yeah. It's all concern.
No complaint can be done.
Yeah. We will write to the MOF. This point also
what I have feel, what I want to express.
Yeah.
Whatever the projects come, government or any industry want to develop,
yeah,
at least public hearings should be done, and so that necessary conditions for the environment, economy, culture of the society, and other requirements are fulfilled.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir, for your comments.
Welcome.
So now, could you connect Mr. Anil Kumar Sharma?
Anil Kumar Sharma, please unmute your mic and come on the speak. Anil Kumar Sharma, unmute yourself and speak. Anil Kumar Sharma, are you able to listen to us?
No, sir.
I think he is not able to listen. Can we have... Now, before you sum up, can we take... Dr. Veller, we'll take Himachal's intervention, and I'll request Engineer R.K. Verma, who is the State Planning Board member of Himachal Pradesh, as well as a doyen of hydropower. He has dealt with many EIA and EPC projects. I will request him to just speak for 2 minutes and have his intervention into place. Dr. Engineer R.K. Verma.
Unmuted.
Thank you, sir. It is with respect to small hydropower projects. So now,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. Is it unmuted?
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes. So it is with respect to small hydropower projects up to 25 megawatt capacity. Earlier in the 1994 and 2006 EIA studies and notification, the small hydropower projects were exempted from EIA. Now, as per the classification of 2020 draft notification, these projects are included as a B2 class project, where EMP study and that is involved. And if we are undertaking EMP study, the process is similar to large hydropower projects, except public hearing. Other things are the same. So we all know that small hydropower projects are environment friendly. There is no reservoir induced seismicity, no uprooting of the people, and these projects are environment friendly and renewal like solar and wind. So in 2016, Ministry of Environment and Forest declared these projects as white category projects up to 25 megawatt because pollution index score is less than 20. As you know that these projects are the run of the river projects, and 15 to 20% flow is kept as a environment flow in the stream to take care of flora and fauna. And these projects are boosting local economy, GDP, employment generation. Apart from this, the state government and the central government is getting a benefit in terms of GST, which is applicable 18% in small hydro. It is 5% in solar and other similar renewable projects. And apart from paying royalty to the state government, the project proponents, they are paying NPV of forest land, money for compensatory afforestation, as well as catchment area treatment plant. It is worthwhile to mention here that catchment area treatment is not going to help small hydropower projects. Definitely it is going to help large hydropower projects, but not small hydropower projects. Presently, the total power potential, small hydropower potential of India is 20,000 megawatt, and we are able to harness just 4,500 megawatt till date. So, the status of white category projects is required to be maintained if we want further development of these small hydropower projects up to 25 megawatt. Many projects are stalled at present. These projects are safeguard to environment, and please infuse wisdom to start these stalled projects. There is a contribution in the national power mix of small hydro, just 1.5%. And if we are talking about large hydro, it is less than 15%. So if we are talking about the model, international model, let it be China, they have exploited their small hydro fully. And even all the developed countries, they have utilized their small hydro. and we just started it, and there is always a wisdom in the next coming policy that some more stringent things are being incorporated, and projects are already stalled. Nobody is going to implement these projects. So my request is that there is no doubt that EIA study is a scientific process, and what is scientific study reaching or leading to this conclusion that the inclusion of small hydro up to 25 megawatt over the earlier policies where the projects up to 25 megawatts were exempted from EIA study, and now it is incorporated that you have to do impact assessment study. The procedure is all same. So let us not increase the hurdle, let us remove the hurdle, make the smooth implementation so that some of the projects are there, and it is for the betterment of the society and betterment for the environment. Thank you very much.
Dr. Velan. Now, Dr. Velan, you can sum up. Dr. Velan को ले लो बीच में. नहीं?
Dr. Velan, please unmute yourself. Dr. Velan, please unmute.
बाकियों
Dr. Velan, please unmute.
Yeah. Mr. Velan, Dr. Velan. Dr. Velan. Mr. Chairman, NSD of Shimla. Mr. Chairman, NSD of Shimla.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. See, you have said that the requirement for the environment impact assessment for the megawatt is wrongly understood. See, the B2 category projects are the system. It has to be and it is a say our job to just to register on the portal and you will get within 7 days. So for that, so you have interpreted that it is a say one year study like that. So it is not like that. So if you kindly go to the modification completely, understand the things properly, then you can able to say whether something is required or not. The problem is people are not say going through the what is the content and intent of the modification. That is very so this problem is coming. Or otherwise, if you go the say complete the notification, so the you will understand better why it has been brought in. So it is just say registered on the portal and you will get the conditions so which has to be environmentally sustainable during the construction.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I request you to kindly conclude the session.
Thankful to the who have shared from Shimla, the member who has shared his views on hydroelectric projects. Really thankful to you. And now it is time for us to sum up the events. So actually, you know, as you all aware, the economic progress is needed for the growth of the country. At the same time, the economic developments is done at some cost. Nothing very cost you can't do it. That is, but the cost, environment cost, we have to reduce it. So whatever work we are doing, it should be done in harmony with the nature. That is how we have to do it. It's a sustainable way. We have to reduce the waste. We have to reduce the pollution, we have to reduce the concentration, we have to conserve the biodiversity. All these aspects has to come into the EIA process. For that reason only, the EIA process is done in 10 different steps, studying the 6 moment and what will be the future impacts and what are the control measures required, what are the monitoring mechanisms required, what are the environment management required. All these things are in the scientific way given in the environment. Saraca has properly explained exhaustively the different steps. how it has been evolved, what are the feedbacks he got. So many amendments, circulars, everything he has taken into account, and he has finally come out with the latest draft notification. But however, there are certain issues which definitely one can based on the collective the knowledge collective decision given by each and everyone, the experts in the field. There are certain observations like that post facto, non-clearance, everything. These are very serious issues. This is a free hand for everyone. So these type of some issues, violation cases, everything should be strictly stopped in future in the Gazette notification. Some provision could be there like that. And somebody has pointed to 100 kilometers in the boundary. So case to case basis they can very enormously sensitive area they can reduce it. So not in general way 100 kilometers like that instead of having, we can have based on the situation and the project site, they can think of it. Then the relaxation of the monthly condition, it is nothing. Definitely, once in a 6 months, the company is going to give everything. Only overseeing by these things. This also the government will request the government to take into account and give that, especially the public consultation period. Though IT everything has improved, but not so in the remote areas. Everything you have to give the, for example, forest area, everything, the tribals, everything. So they take into 30 days time. What was earlier by reducing to 20 days, we are not going to gain anything. We can reduce the official bureaucracy paper the work is there. No, there we can reduce it. So 10 days you repair or accept the application, we can make it 5 days. So in that way, this 30 days can be. And also, these are some of the points these panelists also highlighted, and especially for hydro-related projects, how the report should be. PG task has given in this slide number 11, really it is a very basic one, and also an excellent way to put the report. So the report should be in that light. And similarly, Dr. Ramadas has nicely explained the industries. They should take a lot of care in conducting the public hearing. They should talk to the people and say one public hearing is conducted nearly 12 hours. Really, it is astonishing. So that much interest. The interest is the responsibility of protecting the environment is not with the public. It's mainly with the industries. If they accept this, then nothing will affect there is no rules and regulations also required. Whenever any impact and adverse impact, we need to think how to reduce it, how to control it, what is the future technology. Like that, they have to think. Most of the areas we have to make this EIA studies, even if the government is not doing it, we ourselves voluntarily we have to prepare, see that any impact is that has to be avoided. Now, actually, based on the experience, some of the EIA rules and regulations they have relaxed. For example, mining area, everything from 150 acres to 10 acres down. So some they have increased, some they have come to B2. B2 also they can have some EIA report. Some report based on the same thing the company to prepare and submit to the like that. Small modifications is required. And mainly on hydro on the highway projects, how difficult it is to conduct the project, what is the people's expectation, everything. All the things should come a place, they find a place in environmental motivation. So the compensation, everything is not dealt with here. Separately is there, but how to make it more complicated this thing, the compensation measures, everything also can be part of this EIA notification. And this, I thank you all the panel members as well as Shri Kuravji and Sapan Bhaumik and technical and others also. And Grover just want to have a few words. You want to talk this thing? You want to tell us something?
Sir, now,
Unmuted.
now I will request Mr. Sunil Grover, Chairman NSDF. In fact, we are grateful to NSDF also that they have arranged so nicely all the infrastructure for such webinars and which has been attended not less than 700 people in the beginning. So may I request the Chairman NSDF, Mr. Sunil Grover, to offer the formal vote of thanks.
I thank our ENDB members, Mr. Singh and Mr. Rameshwar Rao and Mr. Raman Saravane and Sanjay Chen and Anil Kumar Sharma ji, who could not make up to this thing due to some audio problem and everything. So I really thank them for their sincere efforts in coordinating with me in conducting this event again success. And really thank the department and NSDF chairman and his committee for day and night working, and our honorable chairman, president, for presiding over this function and giving his moral support. Really thankful to all the members also who has readily come, especially Palavera, in spite of his busy schedule, more of public, some parliament meetings, in spite of this share. Really thankful to you. Now I leave the floor to Chairman NSDF, plus Mr. Gaurji.
Mr. President, Engineer Narendra Singh ji, Dr. M. Velan, Chairman, Environment Engineering Division, the members of Environment Division, Dr. Bhaumek, and the distinguished speakers of the day, Shri Sharat Kumar Pratyal, Dr. P.G. Shastri,
Muted.
Shri Ramadas, Shri Kumaraswamy. An apt moment for a topic, environment. See pandemic 19, the lessons nature has given you. Nature has given us never play with environment. We have been working on the cultural ethos that this environment is yours. Take it the way you want to take it. And the results we have seen, for which the Ministry of Environment and Forest came with first notification of EIA 1994. Thereafter, another notification in 2006, followed by 55 amendments. Why there has been a need? Probably to my mind, the need has been that we have been taking environment as ours. And once we have taken environment as ours, and then when somebody told us that you please take care of the environment through these notifications, what we did was to leave it. Leave it for to itself, that the environment will take care of the things of its own. I think at that point in time, the nature cautioned us that before you do anything with me, come and take environment clearance for it. Come and take environmental permission for me. Because if you look at the nature, nature has always been giving. And we will be taking it as the way we want to have it. And then the result is before you. Now, not to have that destruction and continuing economic processes, probably we have to make our environment to that level to accept our propositions. I relate this. Again, my president will say that whenever you are asked to speak, you bring Vedas or Gitas into being. But unfortunately or fortunately, sir, if you look at Gita and you look at the chapter 9 and then the text 10, what it says, Maya Dhyakshane Prakriti, Maya Dhakshane Prakriti, Suyata Sacharacharam Hetu Nanen hetu naneng konte jagada vipari vartate. The literal meaning of this in Gita has been this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, hetunanen konte, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and unmoving beings. But under this rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again by me. So never you take me granted. And if I look at this in the present context, with EIA notification 2006 and my dear elder brother engineer R.K. Verma speaking that we should take our 25 megawatt of project under white category and we should not subject these for development purposes to these kind of studies. But nevertheless, while doing so, we must take environment with this spirit, that environment provides us with many bounties, many gifts, but these gifts are created by that divine. And if you don't become friendly to that divine as a devotee, then if you don't let away your materialism, you don't let away your greeds, it may recoil and boomerang back on you if you don't take care of that divine and that nature created by that divine. I think today's sermons to us by these three learned speakers, first, the presentation given by our own Sharath Kumar, who has done exceedingly well in presenting this very manifestation, that how now the EIA 2020 draft notification would like to be. And any further intervention in that, seeing this nature, this divine power into mind, I think more corrections where we are not filtering with, we are not, tickling with the nature, those economic processes must go on. Because in Himachal, we have got, sir, 2,443 projects pending for such kind of a clearances. Ours is a hilly Pradesh, maybe some things can be seen in that spirit, that once we maintain ecology, we maintain our forest, let we be allowed to do those economic processes to prosperous, to make our state prosperous, the nation prosperous. With these few words, I once again thank the powerful sermons of our Dr. P.G. Shastri, followed by Ramadas and then Kumaraswamy. But in Kumaraswamy's state, there has been a restraint by the High Court. I was reading onto the net that the draft EIA notification 2020, Karnataka High Court grants limited interim relief, restraining center for publishing the final notification till September 7. So even if by 11th August 2020 we are able to give some suggestions, concrete suggestions, we may also would like to see what the state people of Karnataka would like to speak. We will request, Kumaraswamy, he must have gone through the prima facie what has appeared before the Honorable High Court, so that these progressive processes of having the EIA 2020 notification must not be seen, that economic progress which this country requires in a manner that we have to have a GDP of 9 to 10% going ahead in years to come. These economic progresses through the rapid industrialization, the fast development of the projects may not become a hindrance for any such notification to come fast as possible. With these words, once again, I may inform you that this very technical webinar has been video streamed, and this is available on our NSDF EIA YouTube channel. When you go back to your home, you can see your performances onto this video stream, and through you, I request all my corporate members sitting across the country to must get subscribed to this EIA YouTube channel so that they have this kind of literally webinars available to you with lectures of the luminaries as you have listened along. While thanking my president, the President Institute of Engineers India, Engineer Narendra Singh, and Dr. Bhaumik, and the Director Technical and the technical team of headquarters, that making this all to happen in such a befitting manner. Thank you once and all. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Himachal. I think with this, we close this webinar, and we will expect any feedback on to our this very webinar and the improvements we can make. And with this, we take leave from you. Goodbye, good day, good night. Thank you. Thank you.